Hello and welcome back. My name is Venus Green. Today I want to just have a standalone video that is really a lead into July and the astrology that really is like, I suppose it's sort of the bridge for me, the emotional bridge between June, but I am already beginning to record my July astrology videos, and I just have some thoughts that I prefer not to mix in with the actual astrology videos, because for me, astrology is a very important tool of a lot of things, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But what I think it's not is me predicting to you what should be or will be happening in your life, what you should be looking for, because again, those are the planting of seeds. And I believe that as each of us moves through the months individually, the things that we're suffering with are so very personal that most of the time we don't even share them with the person who practices astrology for us, if you are someone who works with an astrologer, obviously. And so it can be really difficult. Now, while I might be able to see something in the chart and understand it on an emotional level or a familial level or something to the effect of a category that I can place it in based on the house, it still is really important for you to be making your own decision, for you to be moving through life in the way that's most meaningful for you. And I think that it's just hard to do it's just something that's really difficult to do in an astrology video. And so again, some might be categorizing this as more of a rant, and maybe that's so. Again, I've said it multiple times, I'm a Capricorn rising. So when I have something in my gut that I feel like really needs to be said, and maybe it's not for the masses, but it is for some people, then I just need to say it. I need to say it, or else it causes within me an imbalance that then I am trying to constantly sort of stamp down the feelings or the frustration or whatever. So this is the way that I believe that we bring to us what we need, how we find our tribe, how we connect with the people in our community that have similar values, and how we begin to build together on those things that are most important to us. So here's what I think. There comes a point, right, in all of our lives when we really have to stop confusing truth with cruelty. And I think that is this blanket that has been placed over our heads for quite some time, right? That whatever we say has to come out with kindness and nicety. Yes, of course, on some level, right? But sometimes the truth really does hurt, right? That doesn't mean that it's wrong to say it, and it does not mean that we should walk around intentionally hurting another person's feelings or groups of people's feelings. That is not what I'm saying. It also doesn't mean that every opinion needs to be thrown like a weapon. I agree with that, okay? I just want that out there as the basis. But it also does not mean that silence is our answer, and I think that so many people choose that, right? There is this kind of kindness that really is avoidance. There's a kind of niceness that really asks people to just stay quiet while the harm continues, right? That's just what we should do. There's a kind of politeness that protects comfort more than it protects the actual truth. And I think this is the time where we're sort of reaching this point where many of us can feel that is not sustainable any longer. It's just not. We cannot keep waiting for someone else to fix the things that are broken. We cannot keep assuming that people with money and power and influence are automatically going to act in our best interest. And I'm talking about the everyday common man here, right? Many of them are just deeply invested in preserving the very systems that benefit only them. So what's the question? It's what are we willing to do within our own sphere of influence, right? What are we willing to do? Because I do not believe that the answer is fear. I do not believe that the answer is waiting for a savior, a collapse, a flood, or something outside, right? Some sort of outside force that's going to come in and just correct what human beings are refusing to confront. It is our job to confront these things. At some point, we have to become brave again, right? Stop waiting for somebody bigger, taller, smarter, whatever, fill in there. They are not coming to protect you, and you shouldn't be waiting for that. That's also not to say that what I believe is bravery equals recklessness, or it means to be cruel, or it has to be violent in some way. What I mean is that it needs to be honest. It needs to be honest. It needs to be organized. It needs to be awake. It needs to be willing to speak, willing to participate at the very least, willing to protect what is real and human and worth preserving. And I think there's a lot of that. Because freedom is not just a phrase that we're allowed to repeat. No. It is something that we have to actually practice. It's something that we have to defend in our ordinary life, in our families, within our communities, right? It's in the choices that we make. It's in the way that we refuse to hand over our power to people who do not care whether we actually live well or not. I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of somebody with a piece of paper or an authority being given so much more influence than people who have actually lived the problems that they're trying to help solve. You know, I said recently, you know what? I'm going to run for the freaking mayor, for the governor, for something. And you know what somebody's first response to me was? Well, you don't have a political science degree. I don't care. I have 48 years of life. That's what I have. More than some of these members that are in office now. Take it down. Right? And this is why I think astrology is important and why I love to practice it, why I love to share it with others. And again, in a way that's not predictive, in a way that's not telling you to, don't get your purse stolen next month, or, be on the lookout for people who are lying to you. People are always lying to you. People are always trying to steal your purse, okay? It just is a fact. For me, astrology truly matters, right? Astrology helps us see the cycles. It helps us to understand timing. It helps us to reorganize when pressure is building. It's the old stories that are breaking down, and it's saying these stories are breaking down. You just have to acknowledge it. You just have to be aware of it. And when we're being asked to respond differently, yes, do that too. Don't just keep doing the same thing. Astrology is not here to allow us to just be passive and let the planets or the gods or somebody else take care of it. I promise you, if you can't master bravery in this realm, the earthly, dense material world that we live in, you damn sure are not going to be doing it in higher realms, okay? And don't think it's not there, okay? Just don't. If you do, again, this video is not for you, and that doesn't matter, but skip. Astrology isn't here so that we can watch the world burn and say, well, the planet said that this was going to happen, right? It was written and it's going to be. No, it's an opportunity for you to participate. It's an opportunity for you to help bend the nodes, okay? To me, astrology is a tool of awareness, and that awareness should be leading us in some sort of responsible manner. It helps us to understand where our energy actually belongs. It helps us to recognize our sphere of influence. And once we understand that, we can stop wasting our life reacting to every little thing, every little participating piece of, news or information, right? Where is your voice? What are your choices? What courage can you actually muster that's going to help make a difference? That's the team I want to be on, right? Not the team that is trying to be performative, right? For attention. Not the team that hides behind politeness. Not the people who hide in the corner and cover their eyes. Darkness is not the place. Show the light on what you fear, right? Tell us what you fear. Otherwise, we can't help anybody move forward, and we're certainly not going to get out of this giant mess we're in right now, right? It's also not the team of millionaires, right, that tell us what freedom is supposed to look like, while they're not participating in that level of freedom at all, or suffering. Okay, let's not act like it's freedom. I want to be on the team that's brave enough to tell the truth, grounded enough to act very wisely, and honest enough to admit that the future is not something that we're going to inherit passively. For the love of God, Pluto is in Aquarius. It is power to the people, but we are going to have to take it. It's something that we have to participate in creating. Rant over. See you in July videos. Have a good month.